All right, kiddos. Thanks for joining us. As always, thank you for doing your part and tuning in on your own time. I'd like to let you know in advance that I think that you rock for taking the time to study a little bit and do your homework so that we can be ready for our discussion on negative numbers. If we want to use the technical vocabulary, we can call those integers. All right, so we're going to dive right in. And I hope you have your handout so that you can take some notes and record your answers as you work along. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using a one color counter model to represent numbers. All right. So the first task is going to be, and this is just a demo, you can just follow along with your own one color counters. Let's model the number 3 with one color counters. And it's going to seem a little bit basic, but that's okay. We'll start off slow. All right. So a 1 and a 2 and a 3. That is how we model the number 3 using one color counters. Not so crazy, right? Okay, we'll do yet another example. Let's model the number 7 using one colored counters. So follow along as we say 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, I don't think any of y'all are going to get that. And a 6 and a 7. So it may seem like we're starting incredibly small here, but that's okay. So what we're doing is we are modeling a positive number using one colored counters. All right. And we have one more very important number to model using one colored counters. And that number is the number, can you guess? Can you guess what special number is coming next? It's going to be especially important as we dig into integers. That number is 0. All right. I never heard the count emphasize 0. Right, so maybe you had a few things to learn. Anyway, how do we model 0 with one color counters? Okay, here we go. And watch, here we go. Here comes the magic. We're going to model 0 and that's it. That's it. With one color counters, there's nothing there. All right, so that would be how we model the number 0 using one colored counters. All right, now you may use your one colored counters and you may model them on your own. So we are going to have an example for you to try, all right? And I'd like you to draw your answer on your homework sheet, all right? I would like for you to model and then draw the number 5 using one colored counters. And go ahead and pause the video while you take a minute just to do that. Hey, make sure you pause that video before you peek, all right? Okay, hopefully you have worked this problem on your own and drawn your answer on your own paper. And I'm going to show 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that is how we model 5. Last one, I want you to do one more number with one colored counters. I want you to model and then draw the number 0. All right, so please pause your screen for just a minute while you work before I show you the answer. And pause. Now that you have unpaused, there you go, there's the answer. There's how we model 0 with one color counters. Thank you for your participation. Okay, so now that we have reviewed the pretty basic skill of representing numbers using a two-color counter model, what we would like to do is move on to modeling operations using two-colored counter models. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to add together a 3 and a 4. So how do we add using one color counters? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And addition means I just join. Boom. So how many do I have altogether? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So with one colored counters, 3 plus 4 is 7. All right. Now we'll do an example with subtraction. So let's model subtraction. And we are going to do 5 minus 2. All right, and with one color counter, subtraction is a little bit different because I don't start with both numbers. All right, what I do is I start with 5, and instead of bringing in 2, right, subtraction really is more of a taking away operation. All right, so I start with 5 and then I take away 2. So 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay, so I'll give you a couple of examples to do on your own here. All right, it's going to be your turn. And what I would like for you to model is 4 plus 5. Okay, so please pause your screen while you draw this model and record your answer on your homework sheet. And pause. Thank you very much. I appreciate you pausing your video and working before you peek at the answer. So to model 4 plus 5, we'll start with 4. Remember, the difference between addition and subtraction is we actually have to bring both numbers to the table. All right, pun intended. So we've got 4 here, and we've got 5 here, and 4 plus 5, right? We just combine them all. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 4 plus 5 is 9. All right, hopefully you got that one right. Stick with me, kiddos. Don't worry, it's going to get a little bit more challenging here. But we really want to make sure we've mastered one color counters and positive numbers before we move on to two colored counters and negative numbers. All right? Okay, so now let's model a subtraction problem. And we're going to do 7 minus 6. Okay? So again, it's your turn. Go ahead and pause that video. Do 7 minus 6 with your one colored counters, and then draw the result on your paper. Okay, thank you for pausing. Let's go ahead and model 7 minus 6. So remember, the difference between addition and subtraction, or one of the differences at least, is that when we subtract, we only need to put that first number down. All right? And that first number is 7, and we're going to take away 6. So when I start with 7 and I take away 6, right? That's what subtraction represents, is the taking away. I get 1. All right? So hopefully on your paper you had, before you took it off pause, you had written down 7 minus 6 is equal to 1. All right. So now that we've modeled positive numbers and we've modeled operations with positive numbers, we are going to move on to a two-colored counter model. And we are going to represent numbers using two colored counters. And this is one of our first experience with negative numbers, so be patient with yourself while you struggle with these ideas.